It's another night. I have some water to hydrate myself. Do you want to see what the light outside looks like? Are you following my delusional thinking? Hey, let's look. Tonight it's yellow. What does it mean? No earthly idea. So it was blue the other night. Yesterday it was red. And now it's yellow. Do I know why? Nope. Makes me feel less anxious for some reason. I don't know why. I keep writing these Substacks. I have these like bloggy Substacks. I have no idea if they're any good. I love Substack. That was so much fun. Although people monetize their Substacks, and I'm like, I don't know about that so much. Oh, my battery saver's on. Let's plug it in. Wow. So let me read some of my Substack, because nobody reads my Substacks, so I thought I could read some of my Substacks. I'll read this one. I have come so far, poem, and an update about it, I suppose. Sure, why not? Here's the poem. It's hard not to feel a sense of good tidings, even in the worst of days, that I don't allow myself to feel joy in all its pleasant memories, even in the pits of hell, because I drove myself to oblivion before I came back. Yes, I came back, and I have done the work to my peace and joy. I have ascended. And if he didn't find me, I suppose that's not up to me. It's a lonely life, a life filled with solitude, and yes, separation is hard at times and could be unbearable. Sometimes, it seems, it is set to break me in this, but in this I am whole, because nobody can bring me down in this, not God, not man, not even the forsaken love of my life who has not appeared. So I wrote this poem back in November 2023, and I'm proud of myself where I was. To date, I haven't had a hospitalization for a bipolar disorder since December 2021, which was pretty minor bump in the I think I'm feeling impulsive, but the thoughts were swirling back then, and I did that I thought were following delusional thinking, so into the hospital I went, twice. But the joy of it is that they released me on Christmas, which is something that very rarely happens, and I cried as I watched my family open presents, feeling something akin to being blessed. I knew that I would try to avoid going back again. I know that's like a promise that you can't make because your mental health is something you can work at and strive to maintain, but ultimately, especially if you're disabled, it's not your fault if you struggle. You just have to learn your habits, try to avoid the pitfalls. I'm doing what I can to avoid the problems of my disability. That means trying not to wait for somebody, David Lynch, to show up in my life and tell me it was a movie all along, because that's not going to happen. As much as it would give me so much pleasure and joy to explain the suffering my life has gone through, but no, this is my life. This is a real thing. I've experienced it myself. I know it sounds silly to you, but it's like, Ari, of course it's been your life. Of course it hasn't been a movie. What a silly thing to say. But with the delusional disorder, I'm constantly having to question my reality. It's not an easy answer, and I'm constantly holding on to my reality. It's not as simple as where are the cameras? Where is the director? Because we live in a society that's constantly surveillances our society. There are cameras everywhere. I know because I see them. So asking someone where are the cameras is not helpful to someone with a mental illness, because believe me, they'll tell you where you can hide cameras in plain sight. You want to freak someone out, tell them how when they go to hotels, show them videos of hidden cameras being found all around the room using a red light detector. I've had to stop myself from getting one of those. Not that I can get it into my vents anyway. At the height of my delusional thinking, I tried and was unable to, and it still bothers me at my lowest thinking. The fact that my housing company lies, that there's a space above my apartment and the roof, and I've heard people walking around up there for God knows what purpose, and I've had to ignore it because nobody will acknowledge it, but I've settled about it. They are fears, things that hold me back, my bed lying awake. I don't always talk so candidly about my delusions, and I've said it before, lest they are used against me. But that's the thing. I have felt I vocalize my fears and internal structures of what scares me, what people try to use things to try to make me afraid, try to build those up with power. So I guarantee I've mentioned the ceiling. I probably hear people walking around it now. I'll probably hear people walking around it now. But because I've mentioned cameras being everywhere, I'll probably find something that could be interpreted as a camera, like I did in my hallway that one day on the railing. But the point is that after I mention it, the thing that bothers me loses power. Like how I talk about in a YouTube video that when I see construction, it makes me feel like I'm in a movie. And then after that, I would see construction, heavy construction or utility work. And it didn't bother me, like it felt like the universe was actively trying to provoke me into feeling anxious. And it seems like a pathetic attempt to try to manipulate me, but it never bothered me again. And that's what I'm doing better, and the things that I vocalize lose their power after I speak them for the most part. That's how my delusions work, which is funny. So, yeah, I've come so far. So that's my Substack. That's a hint of what I'm writing about.